The final round of the Bankfin Touring Car Series, and on pole position for round 20, Michael Briggs in his last race for Sassel BMW. Next to him on the second position on the grid is champion Janil de Villiers in his BP Nissan. Third, first of the N-Gen Audis, that's Anthony Taylor. His teammate Terry Moss is in fourth position. Winner of round 19 yesterday, Duncan Foss, is in fifth place on the grid in his BP Nissan, and his other teammate, Mark Peters, the Englishman, he's in sixth. Well, the grid a lot closer than on round 19, but it was a very emotional Michael Briggs who qualified in pole position for round 20.
Yeah, I think in this business, emotions run very high and very low, and yesterday was, I think, a really special day for me. Probably my last race, the last pole position of the millennium. It's in the record books now, so it's mine. And you know, from the boys, obviously it's an emotional time for them too. They've put a lot of time and effort into looking after me and getting me onto the grid and to the front of the grid. So that was a special one yesterday. That one was for me and for my boys.
Well, Kyalami's boys have put the Sassel BMW on pole position. We're looking back from his car on the warm-up lap, the parade lap, as they form the grid for the start of round 20 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series. You see the Audi move over to the right-hand side, and they're lining up, and away they go. Round 20 of the Bankfin Touring Car Series underway, the last one of the millennium.
And they've got a serious drag race into the first corner here. You've got to be really careful of the cars, and there's a lot of shuffling around. You don't want to bump into each other and cause the first lap pilot.
The Briggs' pole position keeps him in first place as we go into Nashua for the first time. In car with Anthony Taylor in the N-Gen Audi. He's in third position. He's behind Janil de Villiers. See if he can out-drag him as they go down to Sunset for the first time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Anthony got better drive coming out of the corner there, but I think the better power of the Nissan just pulled it away from the Audi.
He's got Terry Moss right behind him, his teammates, and
Terry get it all
over the place.
And onto the dirt. A little bit out of control there, Terry.
Well, there's Terry cutting in, and he's actually knocked down his teammate. He's knocked his teammate off.
I'll tell you what, he was out of control from the time in the middle of Sunset, and naughty boy Terry, I'll tell you what, Anthony's really going to be seriously annoyed with it.
Well, we spoke earlier of the hitman Terry Moss. He certainly has hit the wrong man there as the field streamed through. Yes, it's for the first time up to Westbank, which is where we join the leaders.
And you've got a seriously happy Michael Briggs out in front for the East. I think it's the first time this year that he's led a race.
Well, there's Anthony Taylor
Stomp, stomp, stomp
stomping off after Clubhouse Corner. Let's have a re-look at that incident. We're in car with Anthony Taylor. His teammate should be on the left-hand side. There's the bank.
Smash.
And he's into the kitty litter. He's not going anywhere after that.
No, definitely stuck. And I think that Mr. Moss will pay a visit to the clerk of the court for a serious discussion.
Terry Moss is Terry's all over the place, and he's hit the tyres on the inside of the chicane. Terry has been in front of the clerk of the court this year, actually had a red card.
Yeah, but that was actually with Michael Briggs. They spoke nicely about it, shook hands and got away with it. But look, one thing you must say about Terry, he's giving 150% and driving the wheels off that Audi.
As is Michael Briggs in his BMW. He's followed by Janil de Villiers. Once again, Terry, all out of shape. That car must be, as I say, out of shape after that incident with his teammate.
I don't really think so. I think that Terry's driving it way above the actual limited grip on it, and he's just giving us a good demonstration of his superb car control.
Well, we are seeing it from the Nissan of Duncan Foss, who's already second in the championship. Briggs, de Villiers. There is Terry Moss, Duncan Foss behind him, Mark Peters, the Englishman, right behind him.
Yeah, Mark's having a much better race than the first one. He had a bit of a disaster and he got bashed around a little bit, but he's right there up with Duncan.
Well, let's have a look at Terry Moss through Clubhouse. This time seems to be okay. There is Mark Peters, the man who flies out on a Wednesday and flies back to the UK directly after the race. In car, Sean van der Linde. The Sassel BMW.
Now watch how he's going to keep really on the left of the first S, and now he gets to drive hard down through the second S and up the hill. Really important to get the accelerator jammed flat early on in the second
Certainly
S.
using all the road and all the curve as well. We're up on the tabletop. There is Terry Moss. Foss, Peters in that beautifully prepared Nissan Primera. You see 3 times champion emblazoned on the side.
Well, hell, if you've got it, flaunt it.
There is Michael Briggs still out in the lead. He's ahead of champion Janil de Villiers as they're into the Vodacom Bowl.
Well, the BM is really suited to this track, and it's going to be interesting to see how hard Janil actually has a go it, Michael, if in fact he does, because, you know, it is Michael's last race, and these guys are friends, and as a bit of respect, hey, let him win a race.
In car with Michael Briggs as they come up towards Gestetner, the second slowest corner on the AA Kyalami circuit. Onto lap 6, still Michael Briggs ahead of Janil de Villiers. They're having a neck-and-neck battle here between the BMW and the Nissan.
And I'll tell you what, Janil's not letting Michael lead this race. Michael's earned it. He's driving the wheels off that BM. He's really doing well to stay ahead of the reigning champion now.
Well, just a couple of inches between the two. Michael's car sounding a little bit sick there, it sounds to me.
It's almost sounding like a V8. There's got to be some form of brake in the exhaust manifold. It'll be very interesting to see by how much he slows down now.
That's Sean Watson-Smith in... he spun off there, we don't know, but this is Terry Moss. And we're in car once again with Mike Briggs. Listen to that car now.
It sounds a bit like a tractor, not like the beautiful BM that it is. But I tell you what, it hasn't lost too much power the way that it's pulling away from the Primera through the corner there.
We're into Nashua once again, and Michael Briggs doing everything in his power to win this race. If he pulls this off, this is going to be an amazing victory.
Yeah, that's Sean Watson-Smith walking away from another parked Opel. He's had a bit of a disappointing year. He's really been quick, led some races, but too many non-finishes.
That six-sounding BMW is still keeping ahead of Janil de Villiers as they go through Clubhouse and head towards the S's. And can de Villiers get through? Throughout the season, the Nissan has been the most powerful car.
Well, yeah, I think it's not only just the most powerful, but it's got the most complete package. Oh, that BM really sounds awful and rough. I just hope that he's going to be able to keep going till the end. Certainly, Michael's pushing like hell. The one thing that the broken exhaust manifold does do is that it helps you to hear a little bit more when the driver starts getting the power down. So next time we go inside into the car, listen for when it really growls. It means he's got it. Yeah, you can listen to it now.
Well, we're in car now, and you can...
Little feather. Listen, feather. Onto the brake. And now as he turns in, listen for the power. There you go. Now he's flat. So it gives you a good idea of exactly how he goes round the corner, where he's flat on the throttle and where he's not.
Well, they're coming into the chicane, and de Villiers still up behind of Michael Briggs. Listen to that car now.
It sounds like a V8. The VM car with Duncan Foss chasing down Terry Moss in the Audi.
They go through the set. Now, this is the second slowest after what you call the Mickey Mouse chicane.
Yeah, guys at Kyalami don't like it when you call it Mickey Mouse, but it is a bit of a fiddly corner. You've got to go left and right. First gear in these cars, not really nice. I really prefer the nice, quick flowing stuff like this here, where you really get the car moving around. They're probably doing somewhere around about 200 k's an hour. The car's sliding, lots of power, good speed.
It's on to lap 10. It's still Michael Briggs in the lead from champion Janil de Villiers as they come up to the tabletop once again. Terry Moss, Duncan Foss, Mark Peters. This is fast and furious. Let's see if Janil can get past on the inside now. He's still up against Michael Briggs. Now, it looks to me, coming down the straight, Michael's pulling away.
Well, maybe this broken exhaust manifold has given the development engineers at BMW an idea or two, and they can have a look at it in the off-season and see what they can do something.
Certainly won't please the environmentalists or the people who live around Kyalami.
Yeah, no, but yeah, they're going to have to look at something like that. It should have lost a little bit more power, and it should have been a bit slower.
Seems to me Terry Moss smoking a little bit. Here's Marco de Santos and Sean van der Linde. Now that battle is on for third position in the championship. It is rather well. There's Sean having a look at...
Yeah, now hold on. The interesting thing here is that Marco's going to drive for BMW. Now, does he give his new teammate for next year a gift of the position, or does he fight him like hell and beat his new teammate?
Well, Marco has already wrapped up the Bankfin Independence Cup for the year, so it'll be interesting to see whether he lets his teammate for the year 2000 through or keeps him right behind him.
Well, of course, it's a big break that Marco de Santos has always been waiting for, is the work factory drive, and he's got it now with Sassel BMW for next year.
On to the last lap. It's still Michael Briggs through Clubhouse. Janil has another look down the inside. He's not going to get through there. If Michael Briggs can get this one, this is going to be an amazing finish to his Bankfin touring car year.
I think Michael's having an absolute fantastic race. He's pushing that BM way over its limits. Janil is pushing very, very hard. You can see how he's getting the drive out there, and Janil hasn't given up. Michael's really had to fight to win this.
Well, up to the tabletop. This is really the last opportunity, or one of the last opportunities de Villiers is going to get through. Michael shuts the door on him.
Janil runs wide.
We're in car with Michael Briggs at 6,000
okay, listen to that throttle again as he goes through the bottom of the mine shaft. Does he lift? Yeah, little feather. Little feather.
And then hard on the power again as he comes into the Vodacom bowl, hits the brakes. De Villiers is not going to get through the output. Now, Terry Moss is right up Villiers. Is he going to come through? This is first, second and third. The last race of the championship. It's going to be a great finish.
Now remember what Terry did to his teammate, Janelle. Watch your mirrors here because Godzilla's coming through.
And here's Michael. The last corner. Can he make it to the finish and win what could be his last race in touring car? Yes, I think he's going to do it now. He is going to be absolutely delighted. Terry Moss is going to have a go at De Villiers for second and third position. It is Briggs. De Villiers second. Moss in third. What a race for Michael Briggs.
That was absolutely fantastic there from Michael. Well done, Michael.
Duncan Foss finishes fourth, Mark Peters, and then first privateer Marco dos Santos. Nice to see another privateer, Cliff Wilkinson, on the scoreboard for once after a really, really good season he's put in. But Michael Briggs says goodbye to the Kyalami crowd. Could be his last race. We don't know what's happening with Michael next year. It's definitely his last race with BMW, and it's an emotional welcome he gets from his teammates back at the pits after his win. Gets hoisted up, and with tears in his eyes. What about that, Mr. Briggs? Hell of a race.
I normally have so much to say when you stick the thing in my face, but I'm just really full of emotion right now. You know, it was a very special race for me to do well in, and I think what I'll take away with me from this race is the kind memories and the thoughts of my team, even my competitors. You know, normally racing drivers are pretty heartless, but today I saw that even amongst racing drivers there's a special bond, and I'm going to miss this like hell.
And as Michael says, the rest of his competitors spray him with champagne, and a really emotional farewell to Michael Briggs on the Bankfin Touring Car Series. And that 27 points in the weekend took Michael Briggs to 5th place in the championship. He's behind first privateer Marco dos Santos. But Nissan have taken the manufacturers' championship in its entirety. They have been brilliant the whole year.